So what is happening, people? Hey guys, we happened to pick a day that it was cooler and the wind is blowing hard today. So guys, this is the last of March. Great time to catch some big fish. We got to fight the wind today. I'm not in my normal fishing spot because the wind blows on it so hard. So I've tucked up in this cove and we're gonna be fishing in water anywhere from 4 to 14 feet of water on the edge of the creek channel. Guys, come along with me. I hope you enjoy the video. I am fishing, and what I'm looking for on the live scope as I move along, I'm looking for big signatures. And we're in 4.5 feet of water. What I'm doing is looking for a big signature on the bottom. My live scope is actually set out at 48 feet so I can actually look around. And I'm looking for big signatures out just off the bottom. I see one right here. It's about 16. Well, old banana pepper with a chartreuse tail, you know, 10-inch crappie. There. That's it. Sorry. This rod had the grenada bug on it, that color. You know, fat, he still ain't laid them eggs out yet. I've been, man, I'm having trouble seeing my lure today, y'all. I've been messing with the settings on this live scope here. I don't know if it's because the water's muddy, it's shallow. Just having a lot of difficult problems. Been playing with the TVG and ghost reject. It's just not showing up like it usually does. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna keep plugging along, y'all. Oh, sorry about that. They got off, didn't they? Yeah, another one about 11.5 inches long. Big ones is hard to come by, y'all. Telling you. 11.5 inch. Good, good eater size fish. And still struggling with that live scope, y'all. Spotting a lot of fish up here. Very, very spooky. At about 18 to 20 feet, they're moving away from this boat. The water sloshing up under the front of the boat is really making them spooky, but it is what it is. It is what it is, so we'll keep plugging along. Pretty good one right there. Oh, boom. You know, that's a pound fish right there. Old grenada bug. Look, guy, I ain't lying to you, boy. That wind is off the chain today, boy. Good gracious. I'm gonna stick him in a live well for a picture. And I'm gonna get a weight on him. Man, I tell you, this black aluminum boat, this wind makes it tough to fish. All right, she weighed 1.16. That's what she weighed. And I had to get it right on top of her head before she would react. So I tucked up here behind this riprap to see if I could get a little break from the wind. So we'll just see what happens. So while I'm looking, a lot of times when I get up on a flat and I know that there's fish basically everywhere you look, I'll normally leave my forward-facing sonar on 40 feet. And that helps me to identify the size of fish that it is a little bit better, if you know what I mean. So, in other words, if I'm trying to catch this fish here, I think it's a bass. If I'm fishing, if I run it out to say 55 to 60 feet, and I'm just looking, trying to spot something, you know, I may not be able to tell exactly what size that fish is, whether I want to cast to it or not. And if I'm looking for fish, if I'm not seeing a lot of fish, and I run it out to say 60 feet, or 55, 60 feet, 70 feet even, and I'm looking, then I spot something, I go to it, and then I can back it down to 40 feet. But generally, if I am looking, I know between here and the end of the cove, there's probably 1,000 fish in here. And so when I'm doing that, I know basically any way I look, I can see fish. I'll normally leave it on 40 feet. That's what I leave mine. A lot of people leave their grid on. I don't particularly like the grid. It just kind of, to me, it kind of clutters the screen up, you know. But to each his own, you know. I'm not saying that's a right or wrong idea. But, you know, you can do whatever you want to. I'm not saying that that's incorrect. And a lot of times you see me I just cast at those fish. Well, they were out about 22 feet. That's a nice thing about a 10, 11, or 12-foot rod. You can actually cast it, and with some pretty good accuracy. And these precision crappie rods, this 11-foot weighs 4.5 ounces, y'all. It's a very light, usable rod. Old thump, thump the thump the thump. Got a good one right here, y'all. Got another good one. Oh, get up here. And we'll get a weight on him too. It's been a little while since I had a bite. Lost a couple. They seem to want to come up there and thump it they just taste it real easy. You know, that's from fishing pressure. Look, nice old fat belly. I don't know if she's probably laid out some eggs, but that's a good fish. I'm gonna get a weight on this one too. Probably put this one in a live well for some pictures later. That fish there was just a little over a pound. That weighs in tenths, so it's 1.06, just a little over a pound. Actually, there was two fish together, and one decided it was going to eat, and the other one didn't. So that's the way it is sometimes. I tell you guys, this time of year, it is 12:46. It is so much difference in the fish bite right now than it was this morning. It's just something about that sun when it comes up. Those fish, man, they just turn on. Boom, you saw right there, back to back, I caught fish and didn't even hardly move anywhere. But what we mainly targeting is bigger targets on the live scope. And I'm not throwing at every fish that I see. Usually the ones up in the water column seem to be a little bit bigger that are suspended just off the bottom. Like there's several fish right there on the bottom, but I'm not gonna cast at them. I'm trying to pick out a little bit bigger target. Let's turn around here. You know, I ain't tried my scoping rod. I need to get my scoping rod out here. Let me get my live scope rod out, my new one. Practice with it a little bit, y'all. See what's really going on. Well, there's the first one with the live scope pole, a little one, but worked out pretty good. Now I'm fishing this 16-foot pole. I got to, you know, there's a difference in fishing a longer pole than fishing a short rod. The shorter rod allows me to, you know, pitch out and swing the lure back, but this one right here is basically drop it straight down. So what I'm doing is using the trolling motor, and I'm going straight to the target. And when it gets about 12 feet, of course I'm still moving, I'm kind of dropping the lure right down in front of the fish. And that's just kind of how things are happening. Another one, not a big fish, but you can see, whoop, I dropped the pole in the water, y'all. You can see that it can be pretty deadly way to fish. And also, the funny thing is, the boat's swinging right to left, left to right, you know, in the wind too. Oh, that's a pretty good one right there. Yeah, he's a pretty good one. Let's see if we can flip this old rascal right here. Oh yeah. Oh, boom, that's a good one. We're gonna get a weight on him, y'all. Yeah. 118. 118.